D-Day was 3 weeks ago, and while not a typical story, still devastated. Part 1. Just a random collection of thoughts, I guess. We've been separated for a couple months, she's moved out, and told her in no uncertain terms she's destroyed our marriage. You can read my post history if you want, but TLDR, she was having an EA for 2 years, PA for 1.5 with the husband of our closest couple friends, who she worked with for many years. I knew they were close friends but had no idea. Our marriage, 1 year, but together for 12, was going great, and we were trying for kids, about to buy a house, etc. OBS was pregnant/infant at the time of the affair. I walked in on them at a party after it had wound down. January was pretty ugly for me, but things have remained civil. I kicked her out immediately, got the full truth 2 weeks later, but I'd connected the dots by then anyway. I wouldn't say I'm better. I've spent time with the OBS, she's been a close friend for many years and strong as all hell, and it's been healing. My sister came and stayed with me, she's amazing. Friends flew out. People have really shown up, cooked for me, checked on me, stayed with me. I have a great therapist who has stepped up his game. Company helps. Being alone is tough. The loneliness after 14 years together is just brutal. We definitely had our ups and downs, but we always stuck it out. On some new meds for the anxiety. Staying away from regular drinking, but will go out to the bar to blow off some steam with some friends and let myself drink then, maybe once a week. Exercising, eating alright, sleeping a bit better. But my WW has been pretty vulnerable and doing about what she can do. Says she's ended things with AP, she's in IC, taken responsibility for the pain she's caused. Understanding and shown some grace during some tough initial conversations. I guess in some ways that's been a stress relief. She has respected the separation and left me alone. But she desperately wants to get back together. I've been pretty active in telling people what I need, including the WW. We've been NC for over a month now. But I feel like as the anger drains out of me the last couple weeks and just depression/anxiety sets in more deeply, I have less motivation to move things forward. I've already talked to a couple lawyers and we need to work out finances and assets, but somehow still feel bad about doing it. I know in my heart I couldn't take her back, since if I did it would never be how I want or deserve. But somehow watching this person I used to love just be broken is so hard to watch. It's like watching someone cut themselves, and as much as it's stupid, you just feel bad for being the one forced to put the bullet in the marriage, even though I know she did every time she chose to cheat, and never stop. I didn't choose to be alone, you know. It's like it's false freedom. I can do whatever I want now, but I was pretty damn happy having a co-pilot, sharing my life with someone I trusted more than anything. Just readjusting my life without a mission of kids and house and her and all that we wanted so badly feels overwhelming. Just so stupid. Update. Our D-Day was 2.5 months ago and she's respected our separation since then. But now demanding to come home and that she has a right to be here as much as I do. We tried an MC session to discuss, but it feels like I just need to leave. She won't let go of this place as her home too. Somehow signing a year lease seems so daunting. A nice place fell out of the sky that stretches but is within my budget and meets most of my needs. But somehow now feeling like I'm weak and I just want my old fucking life back. Doing this alone after 12 years together. It feels insane, surreal, and so fucking sad it breaks me all over again. How I wish she'd never done this. I can't turn back the clock, I know that, but good lord I'd give it all to not be in this pain. Edit, we currently rent. The place fell through, but point still stands. Just a tough moment of finality. Update 2. It's been a couple weeks and things have definitely made a turn for the worse. WW had been staying at friends/family for the prior 6 weeks. I'd made it clear she needs to move out in January when we last spoke, but I'd kindly store her stuff in a spare room. She'd packed it up but left it there. We'd communicated a few times via text, strictly logistics only, and was cordial. I sent an email about a month back asking to plan out logistics of separation, financial accounts, pets, furniture, who gets house etc. Expressed interest in amicability and just wanted to move on, heal, and process on my own. WW sent a response 3 weeks ago and love bombed the shit out of me. I left it in the air for a couple days planning, then she announced via text that she's coming home, with the tone that this temper tantrum was over and I was going to listen to her and at least live together while we figured it out. Couldn't understand why we couldn't just be roommates at least. Yeah, right. I told her absolutely not, crystal clear in my boundaries. I booked a therapy session with a mediator which has turned out to be a godsend. WW expressed desire to reconcile, and that we are so much bigger than this affair. That she has been made homeless, making 2x what I make and staying with friends and family, and unfairly displaced these last 2 months. I told her flat out I want a divorce and this isn't fixable, and the mediator backed me up. Logistically, I can't afford the house we are renting anyway, and she can have it. Told her I'm aggressively looking for a place for April 1st and that I'll move out in April. I'm staying at a friend's house until then. I can't even be at my own place without crazy anxiety anymore, and think I have a great place bagged. We're trading off a few days at a time so I can keep an eye on pets and stuff. I told her that I told our landlord that I'm leaving, need a rental reference, and she lost it on me that I'm going to get her evicted. LOL, she can afford this place twice over. She called me last week freaking out. I'm abandoning her in her time of crisis. I'm running away. I'm just doing this to punish her. Had another therapy session this week. She said how unnecessary and mad she was that I'd thrown away stuff in the house while she was gone. Guys, I threw away her AP plus OBS's wedding gift to us. And a baby planning book because it gave me a breakdown. We were trying to have kids before this went down. Yeah. Unreal. I think we made some progress emotionally. I am just a broken record WRT my own boundaries, and it's definitely helped them land for her when they are reflected by a third party that calls her out on being delusional. But she's clearly hysterical and I need her on board so we can get a financial plan in place and logistically exit this with grace and dignity, which is what I'd asked for weeks ago. But holy shit, she's gone off the deep end. Just completely selfish. There's no longer empathy for what she did to me. Everything that's happened after the affair was found out is decoupled in her mind as not consequences, just injustices done to her, and while these sessions give structure to what we discuss inside and out of it, and that's really crucial right now for my own emotional safety, she just clearly sees everything as being done to her to spite her now. I'm moving out in 2 weeks and holy hell I can't wait to get out of this. I'm trying the patient route hoping for a better, less expensive, financial outcome, but am worried she's going to lose her actual mind when I get another lease. Silver lining, definitely put a bullet in any last thought I had for reconciliation before divorce. Update 3. I won't recap my prior posts, you can have a look through my history, but I'll say a screenplay of the last 5 months of my life would be thrown out of the boardroom for being too unbelievable. Some highlights. During financial agreement negotiation, she tried to make me pay for her egg freezing, as we were trying to have kids and should be compensated, and future adoption fees, as well as pay back her parents' wedding gift. Claiming I'd made her homeless and abandoning her in her time of need and a mental health crisis. She secretly drained our joint bank account we had a written agreement to not touch until divorce went through, and dropped this news in a planned therapy/mediation session where she told me, money won't help you heal. Our therapist called me after and said she is a narcissist and told me to run as fast as possible. Somehow found out my new address, I went to a great deal of trouble to obscure, and came to my house. Refused to give me my pet back. Demanded my prescription meds, and to get her others she abuses, she's an addict, as part of division of assets. After blocking her, she spoofed phone numbers to call and harass me. Has called me a coward for abandoning her and our future together, and still frames this as a mental health crisis for which she was entitled to help. Yeah. After writing that out, no wonder my therapist diagnosed me with PTSD. I blocked her on everything a few weeks ago, and my community has cut her out of their lives. She emails regularly still to ask if we can go back to therapy, desperate attempt to be amicable, damage control on losing friends and me, sends blog posts on how infidelity isn't that bad, and with minor pet updates. She won't give me full pet custody, it's in her name on paper, unfortunately, but is actually mine, which is an obvious attempt at continued contact via a shared setup, via pickups and drop-offs, and has broken my heart to face giving it up. As I struggle with guilt versus duty to self to avoid contact with ex at any cost. Now, me. I moved out 2.5 months ago. Some days and weeks go by and I'm happy with my new life, and I manage to distract myself from the loneliness. I try to reframe it as peace and freedom. Sometimes it's still overwhelming. Depressed, and in pain still. Sense of ennui, numbness, and pointlessness of my life. I have a great therapist and a community of friends, hobbies, healthy self-care routine, but it only does so much. The OBS and I are really tight, we'd been close friends for many years before this. She's incredible and honestly an example of strength I aspire to. Definitely a light in my life, in more ways than one. But it's still really tough a lot of days. She filed for divorce also. Our 1-year wedding anniversary, together for 12+, was a couple weeks ago, and it's honestly been like D-Day flashbacks all over again. Very angry, depressed, consumed by the injustice of the life I worked so hard to build and the partnership I relied on, and was so proud of, being torn from my grasp. That she married me full well knowing I didn't consent to what she was doing. Grief at what I've lost. I know I have a lot to offer, my life has potential and I'm perfectly fine on my own, but that was never my choice. Many days, I'm still reeling in pain. I work out, hard, regularly, lost some weight, get outside, see lots of friends, sleeping better, no solo drinking, on some medication that helps with anxiety. It's progress, but while I wish I could say I was killing it, unfortunately, I'm not. Filing for divorce this week and getting a financial agreement together didn't even feel good, just a minor sense of accomplishment marred by concern that she's going to go ballistic and do something insane. I'm still not 75% of the way back at work and it's beginning to take its toll. I work in a demanding field, despite an understanding boss. I try to relish in the presence of my day-to-day life, not looking past the next couple of days. Compartmentalize the pain for some periods so I can actually look beyond my own trauma for a minute. But I'll be honest, I am unsure if I'm moving forward now out of momentum, habit, or actual genuine desire for my life path and career. I'm emotionally exhausted, like a shadow creeps at the corners of my vision and saps the zest for life I had before this happened. Obviously, this person is a narcissist, clinical professionals have verified it, in fact, and I have no desire to get back together with her. I can't say I'm at meh yet, it's more of an intense repulsion, who knows, hopefully one day I'll get there. But I've been grieving the loss of something more ephemeral in a partnership. Like a pillar or keystone that's been removed I'm having trouble naming but can sense its absence. Maybe it was belief or faith in myself and my path from someone I loved so deeply. It's more than just being alone. Still feeling out these scars. I read success stories here, and while I know I'm incredibly lucky in many aspects of my life, I wish I was there today. Many have it harder than me. I hope I can, and while have self-compassion for myself for not being there yet is sometimes challenging, treating it like a season to be experienced that will be over, one day. Good luck out there to those of you in the thick of it. Recovery is a long, muddy, winding road.